Okay. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Not exactly sure. There is like. Where are you joining from? Okay. Just let me know where you're joining from. Hmm. Mm. Okay, so if you can hear me, just drop a comment in the comment section and I would let me know your name and where you're joining us from. This is going to be quite a short SM this February. Yeah, it's going to be quite a short SGM. So you can just let me know where you're joining from. I think the chat session is opened, so I don't think. Okay, good. You can hear me. Bernice, welcome. Um, who else is here? Obviously, Ogochukwu from Lagos. Obviously. Um, so if you're here, just let me know where you're joining from, and we'll just go straight into the training for this evening. We don't really have so much time. Chijioke, promise. This is okay. This should be promise. Promise, where are you joining from? Peter from Port Harcourt. Do Peter. It's been a while. I know you were in one of the SGMs. Welcome. Um, who else are we having here? We'll start when we get 7 people, seven number of perfection. Okay, just let me know where you're joining. Today we're going to be talking about I'm not going to be using a slide today because I had to be live on YouTube. So it's both of them wouldn't really work hand in hand. So I'm just going to have my slide on my phone and then we're going to have this conversation. So one more person, Promise, Oka, Anambra State. Hope you guys are fine and secured in Anambra. Okay. So one more person, and then we get started. Today we'll be talking about mindset and results, and I'm going to be okay. Ogoma Ezekiel from Benin. Benson, nice to see you again. Benson, nice to see you again. Benson has been with us for Ezekiel. You're welcome from Benin. Um, so the next question I would want everybody to answer right now is, what's one thing you want to leave this event with? What's one thing you want to leave here with? Okay, so um, if you're seeing it, just kindly reply. We would answer this one question, and then I would go straight to talking about mindset and results. What's one thing you want to leave here with? Bernice, Ogochukwu, Ezekiel, Benson, Peter, Promise. Same here, Benson. Really honored to be here. So, what's one thing you want to leave here with? I just need two people to answer, and then we get started. What's one thing you want to leave here with? Okay. So I'm still waiting for two people to give me an answer. What's one thing you want to leave here with? We just take that and we will call it. We'll be ready to go. So, mindset and results. There are so many reasons why this is a very important topic, especially for those of us who are particularly concerned about our personal development and growth. To some other people, it may not necessarily matter, especially to people who are hustle oriented, people who primarily just believe they have to like walk their way through things, whether or not people like it. And then people have a way of believing that their resolve is enough for them to actually deliver specific things. But mindset is relatively one of the most powerful things in the entire world. Your mindset is literally what determines your life. The trajectory or the direction of your mind is relatively the same thing that determines the direction of your life. So that's one of the reasons why we are looking at mindset and results. One of the things that I'll be talking about way extensively is how you can be able to connect your results and find the right mindset that you need to actually get that result and put them together. That's one very significant thing that we'll be looking at by the grace of God this evening. Benson says looking for transformation and insights for increased productivity. Thank you, Benson. Um, who else has something very specific they're looking forward to? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Okay. Okay, so just to go ahead straight into talking about mindsets. Now, the very first question we need to ask ourselves is, what are mindsets? What's a mindset? And there is like one of the good things about being at SGM is it saves you the stress of having to study anything. And so your mindset is basically the result of all the thoughts you have accepted, the attitudes you have actually accepted, Your mindset is basically everything basically in your life that you have accepted that literally determines how you do things. And so if you're someone who has a particular belief or attitude, or I'm going to probably share this slide with you if it's possible, or thoughts, anything within you that you have embraced, you have accepted, that's basically what your mindset is about. So your mindset, it's like an engine that you have made for yourself. It's your own engine. It's what's running your life. And one of the most important thing about having the right mindset is it depends on how far you want to go in life, depends on how well you want to use a particular car. The kind of engine it has matters. You cannot necessarily use a V6 or normal Toyota Corolla engine to say you want to be able to run maybe a particular, let's say, high speed F1 Formula One race. It doesn't necessarily work. So you need to be very intentional about your mindset, and you need to be intentional about your mindset and the kind of results you want to actually achieve. And so, like I said, your mindset is the collection of your thoughts, your beliefs, everything that you have accepted as an individual as regards to life. So, a practical way to know what your mindset is like is this. So, you're applying for, let's say, a scholarship. You're applying for a scholarship, and then you've submitted your application and you received a rejection email, and somebody else, your friend, applies for the same scholarship and receives a rejection email as well too. So these are two people who have gotten the same result. Now one of them is going to just lie down and then maybe be crying and like, oh, they've rejected me, this thing didn't necessarily turn out well, I expected to get this scholarship, I expected to get this job or something. That's on one end. And then on another end, the other person is barely even bothered about the other person is barely even bothered about all those things that they're talking about with respect to whether I passed or not. The person is just focused on how can I actually get a scholarship. So the person know, okay, I didn't get this one. The person is already applying for the next one. The person is looking for new scholarships. Now these are two with results, but they have different responses to it. That's what the mindset is like. It's like the brain box of the entire man. It determines what you would likely do. And so this is how it works. Your beliefs determines your thoughts. Your thoughts determines your mindset determines your results. So a very practical example would be this. You believe in spirits or in ghosts. You believe that it's possible for a spirit to be haunting a house. That's your belief. Now, you go inside your room and then you see one dark, some kind of like an image that looks like it's hanging on the wall. Now, because you believe in spirits and because you believe in ghosts and because you have that belief system, you literally think that's a spirit. Oh, this can be a ghost, or this can be a spirit, or this can be like something specific you get. So you see how your belief system shapes your thoughts, and then you see how your thoughts directly begins to shape your results or your actions. So somebody who has that kind of experience will decide to maybe run away, or the person will decide to let me fight, you understand? So your action is based on what you actually think, but your thoughts is based on your beliefs. A lot of people have not been able to take certain actions because they're like, I have this dream, I have this passion, I have this goal, I want to achieve this thing. And they have dreams, they're dreamers, they don't take action, they plan and plan and plan and plan and plan, they never execute. They plan to do something in a day, they are not productive. You see, those kind of people, they think their problem is the actions, they don't know it starts from their mindset. So it paces down from what do you believe? Do you believe that you can actually deliver these results? One of the things I realized why I started as an entrepreneur years ago, of the most significant thing for me was the fact that I was trying to build a business, but deep down inside my heart, I didn't believe I could do it. And so for years, I was very, 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 I was trying, I was doing small things, closing little deals, but deep down, I wasn't just getting it. And it's until I came to a point where I 100% believed that I had the capacity to build a business that I began to build a business. And so a lot of people think they are not taking action because their dreams are not big enough, or because they are not in the right environment, or because they don't have the right support systems, or because they don't have the right people around them, or the right resources. Most of these things starts with what you believe. So if you believe you can do something, and then you begin to think about doing it, processes in thoughts, you most likely begin to take action, and then your action is going to deliver results. Okay, this is just basically how it works. But I want to talk a little bit about how every single one of us need to consider. And we've talked about goals. I think in the last SGM we talked extensively about goals. So I'm not going to talk so much about goals today. I'm just going to talk about the kind of results you want. If you want to be somebody who is effective, who is productive, who is efficient, you need to think in results. Don't think in efforts or energy or input. You can measure in effort. Oh, I spent 10 hours doing this. Oh, I spent 6 hours doing this. Oh, I spent 3 hours doing this. So you can measure things with respect to how much effort or investment you had put into it. But when it has to do with your overall achievement and accomplishment, you need to begin to think in results. So you need to ask yourself, what kind of results do I want to achieve? I'm currently, let's say you're someone who's currently doing like social media, or you're doing something like let me look for something a little bit interesting. Um, you're currently sales, let me just say you're currently sales rep or something like that. And so you're currently a sales rep or something like that a in a fashion, in a boutique or somewhere. Now, your job is to attend to every customer that comes into place. The results the person wants to see is you need to be there available from probably 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's the kind of result the person wants to see. But you see, if you want to be better than your current level, whether you are a maybe a student in school, or you're primary somebody who does specific things like creative work, like graphics, social media, and all these other things, you need to be able to ask yourself at every single point in time, my entire investment here, what kind of result do I want to come out with? And so somebody who is a sales rep can easily think, as long as I'm here 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., I don't have a problem. But the person can also think, can I be diligent enough here to get a personal recommendation and win the favor of this person I'm working with? So this is the difference. So when you become very, very, very intentional about your results, you begin to direct your action towards the right place. So before we start talking about you necessarily having the great mindset or a winning mindset, we need to be very intentional about you being a result oriented person. it, we You need to ask yourself, my investment or my commitment to this thing, what results do I expect? And so it's not enough to say I want to be able to post or get viral videos. So after you get that, what's the next thing? Maybe you're working for a client and you're like, I just want this person to actually pay me my money and I want to just do everything I'm supposed to do. That's not how to think about results. So think about results on something that is very specific that will help you achieve your goals. How can I be able to learn social media where I can build my own brand? That's results. So anybody who doesn't think in results is going to have a problem knowing how to moderate their mindset. So people talk about having a winning mindset, having a growth mindset. You need to always be able to be resilient. Don't allow anybody stop you. All those motivations, they are like batteries, and you have to put batteries inside an electronic component for it to be viable. It's like being able to say you want to use a phone and there's no battery inside the phone. And so you need to be very intentional. What results do you want out of life? It doesn't matter whether you are selling pure water or you're working as a banker. Sometimes your results can be, I want to build a relationship with the MD where the MD trusts me and the MD can call me to his house. I may just be like a cashier in the organization, or I may be like a mere graphics designer, or I can be like a mere, let's say, social media manager. But my result is that I want to be very close to the person who is making the decision. I need that personal relationship. That is how you need to think about your life. Think in results. Think in results. Whether it's your job, whether it's your family, whether it's relationships, think in results. If your results are not clear, the mindset you need, you would not be able to know. Let me give you a very practical example. Two people start a business. First person has a clear result. His result is, I want to make money. Simple. I want to just make enough money to sort out the stuffs I need to sort out. That's what I want. Now, the second person doesn't mind. It doesn't have a result. You understand? He just started a business, and the both of them started the same business. Now, watch this scenario. The both of them do the business for 6 months, and then none of them succeeds. None of them succeeds. Now, the one who has the result, which is like, I want to make money, that person, as long as he has not made money from that business, he's not going to give up. He's going to keep going. The person who did not have a result in mind, he didn't have anything he wanted to achieve, that person is going to drop off. He's going to give up. He'll be like, I bet this business is not working. The difference between the both of them is not the type of business they were doing. Is that one person knew what they wanted, the other person did not know what he wanted. Let me give you a practical example of another scenario, still with respect to a business. So there are two people. Both of them started the same business. The first person had a result in mind. His result was, I want to build a huge legacy company. I want my son or my daughter to actually be able to work in this company when I'm gone. That's my goal. And then the other person, it's like me, I just want to make money, buy cars, lands, houses, and I'm okay. Now, the two of them have results. The both of them, their business fails after 2 years. None of them will give up because they've not achieved whatever they want. Now, if there is another opportunity to make money, the both of them enter an event, let's say a multi-level marketing event, because it's a bit interesting. And so the both of them enter a multi-level marketing event, and they are talking about how you can make money by bringing people under you and all those things. The one who has the results to make money is going to leave the business that he started and go and join the multi-level marketing. The one who wants to build a legacy business will be like, I beg, I cannot go and be making money for other people. He's going to stay on the business. Do you understand? Now, let's imagine that the both of them actually get to succeed together. One of them will grow the business to 100 million, the other one will grow the business to 100 billion. The difference between both of them is somebody chose to have results that was way farther than the other person. So make sure you are thinking in results. This is what makes people mediocres in organizations. They just want to come and earn. They just want to be like they are leaving their house to go to an office. Some of them just want to just very shabby things. Think in results. Think in results. Always ask yourself, what kind of results do I want to get? Like every day you're going out, every day you're building things, every day. Some of you is even in the context of faith. Some of you, you're fasting, you're praying. What's the result? What do you want to achieve? Because the kind of mindset you will need differs based on your results. If you want to work and make money in a business, there's a kind of resolution. You don't need to sacrifice profit. Do you understand? You need to have a money mindset. You need to make profit from every single customer that enters your office or your shop or your service center. You need to make money from them. But if you have a mindset of building a billion or $1 trillion business, you are not going to be bothered about making money from everybody. You need a different mindset. Your mindset will depend on the kind of result you want. So I know a lot of us are used to hearing motivational speakers tell you need to be resilient. Generally, there are a lot of mindsets that are valuable for you to succeed. There are a lot of mindsets that are very important if you will ever succeed. But you need to understand first that your results precedes. Listen very carefully, everybody. Your results precedes your mindset. Ask yourself, in this area of my life that I want to develop, what kind of results do I want? Like, what do I want to see? What's my final destination? And that is one thing you must be clear on. Now, my assumption is that you're going to be able to figure out your results one way or the other. That's my assumption. My assumption is you're going to be able to figure out your results. But this is way more important than that. Now that you have figured out what kind of results you need to have, you now need to ask yourself, what mindset do I need for me to accomplish this result? I gave a very simple example when I started this conversation. I said, if you ever want to do, there's what they call Formula One race. A Formula One race is basically a very is like fast car kind of race. You get, those of you that are very familiar with it. You cannot use a Toyota Corolla engine to run a Formula One race. Do you understand? Like, it doesn't work that way. And so you need to understand that now you have the kind of result you want to achieve. You need the right mindset. Not every good mindset is the right mindset. I will say it 2 times so that you understand it. Not every good mindset is the right mindset. Not every good mindset is the right mindset, especially for your results. If you're somebody who is cut out from who is cut out to make money from business, you just want to make money from business. Part of your mindset is that you should know when to give up on something. So that's just the truth. People who want to make money from things need to understand that not everything will work. So as soon as they find the one thing that cannot work, they need to give up. Now, if you're the kind of person that you want to build a career, build something legacy wise, you can't just be giving up on things like that. Do you understand? Like, you cannot just be giving up on things like that. You have to fight. You have to fight for what you want. So a lot of people have mindsets that do not align with their results. They have mindsets that don't align with the kind of results they want. You need to know when to give up on things. It's a particular mindset that you need, depending on the kind of result you want to achieve. You need to be able to know when to insist on things. It's a mindset you need based on the kind of result you want to achieve. I'm going to tell you guys a story of Google Photos. How many of us know Google Photos on your phone? So good. The founders of the company, the guys who founded, the guy who actually sold that part of the company to Google, he created this app when iPhone came out. The app was like, I think it was a tapping app. You're going to have 2 phones like this, and then you tap them. You tap 2 phones like this, and you exchange phone numbers. So the guy realized that there was this significant problem people were having when it had to do with exchanging contacts. They'll be typing, give me your phone number. And he was like, why is everybody going through this stress? And so he went to program or code an app. And then when you want to collect somebody's phone number, you just tap it like this, and then you exchange contacts. I think the app works with NFCs or something. So basically, basically that was how the guy started his company. He raised hundreds of millions of dollars for that company. He lit that app was, I think that was about 2008, 2010 or thereabouts, when iPhone came out at first. I think iPhone 4, and then that particular app was the most downloaded app in the whole of App Store. It was the most downloaded app in the whole of App Store. It was the first in the world. And so the guy was building the company, looking for faster ways to do things. The guy was building the company. He was looking for faster ways to do things. He was looking for easier ways to do things. But he realized that as much as that exchanging contact was very important to people, they were not using the app very often. Somebody's going to use the app once in 1 week. People were downloading the app, but they were not using it. And so he started becoming afraid because he has raised money for the app. He has raised money for the app. He has been trying to get people to use it, you understand. And they're downloading it, but the frequency of use is not good enough. The app is not going to succeed in the future because it was not very frequently used. And so what he decided to do is he decided to talk to the customers. So he went and started talking to people. He talked to a lot of customers. He realized that they were using the app to share photos and not contact. That was his biggest concern. He was like, I created this app so you people can share phone numbers, but why are you sharing photos? So he started realizing that people were using his app to share photos and not contact details. And so he decided to start building a kind of a photo kind of app under that his company. So he spoke to his board of directors, and they said go ahead, and he was building a photo app, you get. And then he did the photo app, did it very well, sold the entire app, and sold his company to Google. So Google bought his company, bought the photo app, bought their app that they used to have as well too. But they told him they are going to employ him. So he was now working in Google as an employee. He has left the company. Google has bought the company he founded. And this is the most interesting part of the story. And so when he got to Google, he wanted to resume work with his team. And then Google told him they are not interested in that app, as a matter of fact. They don't want the photo app. He said, why will you just buy an entire app and buy an entire company and kill it? Like so what now? So you're not going to do anything with the app? And then they were like, no, they don't need anything. They're not going to do anything with it. This guy literally went against all the employee policies of Google and built a different team in Google, finished building the app, and offered it straight to the board of directors and got the approval. Google Photo became the most used photo app as of when it came out. Now, the reason why I'm telling you these stories is this. Did you realize this guy left his company, went to work for another company? You see, the mindset it takes to go from a CEO to an employee, that mindset depends on your results and your goals. Some people who have the wrong goals and the wrong results in mind, they don't know the right mindset. That guy only wanted to build products. The results he wanted is he wants to build product and he wants people to use his product. He didn't care about, till now a lot of people don't know his name. He didn't care about whether people knew him, whether it was his company. He didn't care. That wasn't his business. All he wanted was, can I build a product and can people use this product very well? That's all. I just want to build things people use. That was his mindset based on the result he wanted. So he was very flexible. He knew how to break rules when it was time to break rules. Do you understand? He knew how to do things when it was time to do things. It's important you understand that irrespective of what your results are, if you have the wrong mindset, you will fail. So somebody who wants to build apps that people want to use, imagine if he had the CEO ownership mindset. Imagine if his mindset was like, I'm going to own my own company. I must build my own company. My company must succeed. He would have failed. He would have failed. Do you understand the point? Like, It's a normal mindset now for anybody who is a CEO. Do you understand the point, guys? Like, anybody who wants to be a CEO can do CEO stuffs. It's my company, it's my product, I'm going to build it, I'm going to make the best out of it. You get? Everybody can do that. Anybody can do that, anybody should do that. You get? But the most important thing here is not about what other people's mindsets are. It's what mindset should you have based on the results you want. Based on the results you want. Don't have a CEO mindset when you're a building kind of person, when you're somebody who is just interested in adding value. Don't go and start thinking of, okay, how do I start up something, or how do I build something, and don't have the mindset of a builder. People who build things are very resilient. Like, you can't kill the ideas. You kill it, they'll rebrand it again, rebrand it again. Those people are on a completely different level. Do you understand? And so it's important to know your results and make sure you find the right mindset. Now, the big question some of us are going to be asking, how do I find the right mindset when I found the kind of result I want? So I have determined the kind of result I want, whether it's your career result or personal growth or personal development result. I'm already resolved on exactly the kind of results I want. Now the main thing is, how do I find the right mindset? I'm going to talk about that very shortly. But one of the things I want to point out to us is that there are core mindsets that are responsible for success irrespective of any result you want to accomplish. I'll say it again. There is a particular set, we call them mindsets. You know, the way they have set of spoons and knives and forks, like cutleries, are in sets. That's the same way mind, like there's a set, yes, there's a mindset that's more, these are 100% compulsory if you ever want to succeed. I will talk to you about the 4 mindsets that, irrespective of what your results are, these mindsets will help you become successful, irrespective of your results. You need to understand this. Like, whether you want to build, whether you want to build a career, whether you want to sell pure water, whether you want to school in the US or the UK, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, you would literally need these 4 mindsets. The very first one is optimism and positivity. If you're the person that always thinks about negative results when you have a goal, you have a very poor mindset and you're going to find it difficult to win. If the first thing you think about when you write an exam is you failing the exam, you have a very poor mindset and you're going to find it difficult to win. If the first thing you think about when you get into a friendship or a relationship is that it's going to fail, you have a very poor mindset and you're going to find it difficult to win. So, what I'm trying to tell you in essence here is that if you ever would succeed significantly in anything, you need to have a good mindset. And part of a good mindset is you need to be positive in your thinking. You need to think positively. If you're still following me, just drop in the comment section. Let me see you think positively. Those of you that are following, just to drop, think positively. You need to think positive. Listen, I don't know who, like, it doesn't matter who you meet anywhere in the world. If you are a pessimistic person, you're going to find it very difficult to succeed. Things are already hard. The world already creates more possibilities for you to fail. You now add a negative mindset upon a proclivity of failure that the entire world has, especially if you're in Nigeria. We even have a worst case scenario here. So the idea is that you need to think about significant ways that you can think positively towards things. This is how you can build a positive mindset. First of all, read success stories. Go and find success stories and read. Don't go and be reading news like statistics of people that have failed and how everybody 99% of people who start businesses fail. That's not the kind of things you need to be reading. You need to think positively. And if you would think positively, you would definitely start by allowing positive stories to come into your mind. So you have to look for biographies, autobiographies, founder stories, success stories, and read them and study them. Enjoy reading positive things. Do you understand? Watch positive videos. Listen to people who have succeeded. You get. Don't go and listen to all those TikTok people who have failed and they are telling you why something will never work for you because it did not work for them. That's not the kind of conversations you need to be listening to. That's not the kind of conversation you need to be listening to. You need to be very intentional about listening to the right kind of people. Very, very important. So listen to positive things, listen to positive people, success stories, obsess about success stories. When I started business, one of the things I did was I studied Facebook, I studied Amazon, I studied Microsoft, I studied Apple. Which other company did I study again? I read the story of Berkshire Hathaway, Warren. Who again did I study? Richard Branson, um, Virgin CEO. Who again did I study? Who again do I study? I literally picked the finest and the most positive of entrepreneurial stories at a global level and I studied them. I read them. So my mind and my emotions just is consistently filled with people who have succeeded. So I have a proclivity to believe that I can succeed as an entrepreneur because I've seen other people succeed in my mind. So while other people are seeing things that will I can remember when I'll be in team meetings those days and I'll be telling my team this sexual hub. I decided to wear sexual hub shirt because I've not worn it on camera before. So I thought I was gonna wear this shirt on camera. So the shirt will have global visibility. Little so back to the point. So I can remember when we were having team meetings and I'll be telling some people in my team how the kind of big things we'll do, and they'll just be looking at me like, "Is this guy is either crazy, mad, or he doesn't understand what he's saying?" So in their own mindsets, they don't have stories and they don't have examples of successes. So most of what I was saying then just sounded weird. It sounded hard. It sounded difficult. It sounded like it was not even possible. But when you have wrapped yourself around positive stories and positive vibe, you will definitely be able to get a positive mindset. Another way you can get a positive mindset is declarations. Over time in my life, I used to have one of the literally the hardest things I've done is building a business. It's literally very hard, guys. Like, trust me, unbelievably hard. So I have always building a business. And so I used to go through a lot of stress and a lot of tension, so many things. So one of the things I learned and I began to do was anytime somebody asks me, how are you doing? I'll tell them I'm a blessed man. And I started using positive words and positive confessions to create an identity for myself. I'm a blessed man. I'm a world most prosperous person. Do you understand? Like I'm a blessed man. Everything works for me every day, every time, everywhere. And so I started creating an image of myself that succeeds. And this is one of the ways you can build a positive mindset. Now, I'm not telling you that even after you have built a positive mindset, you will not significantly have, there wouldn't be times and situations in your life where you're going to struggle with different degrees of negativities. No, I'm just saying that if you if you have a gun in your house, a knife, a bulletproof, a grenade, you're not going to be concerned about somebody intruding in your house. You just kill the person. Do you understand? That's the idea of having a positive mindset. Having a positive mindset doesn't mean that you cannot or you will not have negative thoughts. It means you literally have everything you need to consistently have positive thoughts. You have an armory that you can use to contend with negative thoughts. That's what having a positive mindset is about. Some people think that having a positive mindset means you never think of, like, anytime you do something, you just, I'm going to succeed automatically. No, it's not always like that. Even Dangote, when he was building Dangote refinery, Dangote said if he was asked to do it again, that he would not even try it. Even Dangote and the most successful people we know today, they struggle to succeed in various areas of their lives, but they are still positive people because they have created an infrastructure around their mind. They have armed themselves with very solid things that helps them stay positive, which is the most important part of everything here. Staying positive. So a positive mindset is one very important thing. Now, the second thing, besides a positive mindset, it's it's an ability. How do you, there's this thing that you see them say, I am impossible, and then they would now put I am possible, or they'll remove the im and put possible. Those, all those graphic illustrations, it's the same thing and the same mindset you need to have. You need to believe that you can do anything. And now, the reason why you need to believe this, two reasons. One is because if you don't believe you can do anything, you're definitely going to come across things that it seems like you cannot do, and you will give up. Do you understand? It's simple. ABC. You don't believe that you can succeed in something, or you have the ability to deliver results in something. Because you don't believe you can deliver results in those particular things, when you experience difficulty and challenges, what happens next? You give up. Now, so you need to understand that if you ever would succeed, you need to be able to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I can do this. Like, I can do this. Like, you see this business that I need to build, this career, becoming the best in the industry. Me, I can do it. I can do it. There's this story of three, I think two or three United States presidents who they met when they were 9 years. Like, these guys at 8, 9 years were talking about how they would be the president of the United States when they were still barely teenagers. So you need to have that possibility mindset. You need to believe that you can do anything you set your heart to do. Now, I told you about the first reason why you need to believe that. The first reason is because if you do not believe you can do everything that you set your heart to do, you will definitely come across things that will be difficult for you to do, and you are going to give up because you don't believe you can do them. The second reason is literally because you can do anything. That's the truth. Years ago, it was impossible. It was impossible for people to drive cars that were fully electric. It was impossible for a rocket to be launched into space and the base of the rocket lands back on Earth without them losing. Do you understand? Like, it was literally, and I sincerely mean this, it was literally impossible. But somebody made it all possible. I used to share stories with people when I was much younger. Like, I didn't believe I could touch the screen of phones. We were technically using button phones, those birds. Some of you know that blue light bird phone, and those Motorola Blade or Razor, all those phones. Some of us never believed that there would be touch screens, there would be iPad. Now there are TVs that are touch screens. Now there are folded screens. Like, the advancement in technology has over time gone beyond possibility. That's how life is. Everybody says it can't be done until somebody believes that it can be done and then does it. And so this is the second reason why you need to believe that you have the capacity to do things, because you literally have the capacity to do things. You literally have the capacity to do things. Now, the third mindset, the third, exactly, Benson, thank you so much. If you think you can, you can. And then if you think you cannot, you actually cannot. So you need to be able to think you can. The third mindset is resilience. The You see that I'm not going to give up except I get this thing. You get. I was listening to an interview with Mr. Beast and some of you. How many of you listen to Diary of the CEO? Diary of the CEO, Stephen Bally. Yeah, Stephen Bally had an interview with Mr. Beast, and and Mr. Beast was talking about how he was able to organize the biggest challenge in the world. I think the person won $5 million. The person won $5 million. Is it $5 or $10 million? I can't remember. They built the entire set with over $50 million. Like 10 series is currently the most watched video on Amazon Prime. Literally the most watched. This guy he broke how many world? I think 40 world records. He broke 40 world records in one project. And Stephen Bally was asking him, how do you manage to do these things? You're the biggest YouTuber. Mr. Beast has 325 million subscribers. This guy is the most viewed person in the entire world. Billions of views across his channels. And Stephen Bally was asking him, how do you manage to do this thing? He said, I don't just give up. Like, I don't give up. He started when he was 11 years old, and he's currently 26. At 26, he's worth over maybe $2-3 billion, and he's building one of the fastest growing chocolate companies in the world. And he has the highest YouTube channel in the entire world at 26. And his answer was, I don't just give up. I don't just give up. You see, if you're somebody that always gives up on things, you're priming yourself for failure. You're priming yourself for failure. I'm going to talk about priming as we conclude this video and this entire training. I'm going to talk about priming very shortly, but you're priming yourself for failure. Okay? So the last mindset, it's collaboration. You need to believe that you need help and that people will be willing to help you. Somebody asked Steve Jobs how he was able to succeed building Apple at a very young age. Steve Jobs said he called people and asked them for different things. Like, he literally just called Intel CEO and tells Intel CEOs that he's building a computer and he needs some components and he doesn't have the money to purchase it. Can they do him a favor and get it? Like, that's literally how he does it. Steve Jobs said there's nobody he cannot ask a favor from. Nobody can ask a favor from. One of the mindsets that have made, especially Nigerians, very, very big set of failures is everybody wants to be independent and everybody wants to do it on their own. Everybody wants to succeed on their own. Everybody wants to be like, I made it without anybody's support, self-made. Everybody arrogantly just believes that somehow they can do it alone. Just somehow they can do it alone. And that's not true. People who have succeeded are people who believe, like one of the things Elon Musk did when he was building SpaceX is he had to reach a lot of people who were within the space industry and he was begging them to join his team. Elon Musk literally needed to beg rocket scientists and space engineers and all those kind of like he had to beg them to join his team. Because he needs people. It doesn't matter how rich you are, you need people. Donald Trump made an entire comeback in the US election just because he finally agreed that he needed people. Trump was on podcast upon podcast upon podcast. He called Elon, gave Elon a deal. Gave Elon a deal. Went to Joe Rogan, had a conversation with Joe Rogan, like JF Kennedy, went to JF Kennedy Jr., had a deal with JF Kennedy Jr. This guy went around getting people to support him. If you have this mindset that you're somehow just going to succeed, primarily because you have the dream, you believe in it, and you can do it, you're going to get it wrong. And so these are 4 basic things, basic mindsets that you need to have if you're going to succeed. These are 4 things mindset you need to have if you're going to succeed. Now, I'll just give you brief before I take questions. I'll talk about priming. So there's this experiment that they did. Everybody listen very carefully because this is the most important part of this entire training. There's this experiment they did. They brought students from the same school who had the same grades, mixed gender, the same grades. They had the same intellectual capacity. They were good students, the same school. They divided them into two, and they told one set of them, and they told them that you're about to write a test. But the people you are writing a test with, these people you're writing a test with, these guys are the best in their schools. They are better than everybody around them. Like they are even better than you, Seth. Like they are very good. So they told the one, let me call them Group A. They told Group A that the people they are competing with on that particular quiz is literally the best. Like they're just good. And then they told Group B that the people that you are competing with they are people from another school. Their school is not really good enough. Like you're better than them. You get. They told them you're better than them. You can just write. They are small people. So they told one group that they are competing with people who are lesser than them. They told another group that they are competing with people who are more than them, who have higher intellectual capacity than them. And every single time this experiment was done, the people who they told were competing with people who were less than them outperformed people they told that was competing with people who were higher than them. That's what they call the law of priming. So in priming somebody, you literally tell them, and their emotion determines their results. Their emotion determines the mindset they have, and thus their results. And so one of the things you need to understand is this. If you walk through life primed in your mind that you cannot succeed, that people are better than you, that Elon Musk has more capacity than you have, and that because you're in Nigeria, you literally don't have what it takes to build a $1 trillion company. If you walk through life primed somehow that you cannot compete with people in the US or the UK, they do way better than us, and you go for job interviews, and because you see somebody has MSc, PhD, you start priming yourself that they are better than you, will always perform lesser than your capacity. You would always perform lesser than your capacity. You need to always prime yourself for success. Prime yourself for success. Don't walk around life assuming people are better than you. Don't walk around life like acting like other people can do better than you. It's not true. Even if it's true, you are still going to perform lesser than you're supposed to. So you need to have an induced superiority complex, controlled superiority complex to give you a better performance. Do you understand the point? As Africans, one of the things we have suffered the most for is inferiority literally embedded into our very gene because, of course, slave trade. So everybody who is African walks around their environment like they have a disadvantage. Africans, whether in Europe or in the US or anywhere around the world, literally walk around like they have a disadvantage. Meanwhile, some other Africans who have made up their mind that they were literally better than their pals, they were literally better than, I just remember this is very something, they were literally better than like people who are around them, they performed way better. So I was watching an interview, Barack Obama was having an interview with someone. This is very interesting. And the person asked him, Barack, what was your biggest realization being president of the United States for 8 years? And Barack Obama said this. Barack Obama said he realized that in Congress, amongst presidents, amongst workers, he said at every level that he had gone through, there were people dumber than him. That was his realization. I wish I can find the video. I would love to have shared it. He said he just realized that there are smart people in the room, but majority of people are actually dumb. Barack Obama became the president of the United States on the grounds of his ability to walk through every level of politics. Oh, Benson, you saw it too. Beautiful. Every level of politics, believing that he was smarter and better than other people. Not necessarily because he wanted to override them, but he primed himself for success. If you didn't take anything from this entire training tonight, take one thing from here. You are responsible for your success. You are responsible for your results. You need to prime yourself for it. You need to engineer your mindset for success. And one of the very stable ways you can do that is by insisting that you are better, you are good enough. Nobody can do it better than you. Even if there is, it's their business. Don't walk around the office thinking like like you are privileged to be there. No, no, no. That's not how it's supposed to be. People are privileged to meet you. Do you understand? It's like they should be the ones saying, "Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, thank you for." That's how it should be. Prime yourself for success. Prime yourself for success. Before you go to do anything, tell yourself you can do it. Don't walk into any room feeling disadvantaged. Don't enter and don't apply for any interview if you feel like there are people that are better than you applying for it. It's a lie. Nobody has a bigger chance or better advantage. Prime yourself for success, okay? I really loved having this amazing time with us this evening. So I'm just going to take a few questions. If you're just joining, you can of course watch the video after now. I will take very few. Oh, sorry. I think one of my lights just went out. Or we'll just take we'll take this in the group. Just give me a few minutes. Ogochukwu, please let me know whether we can take this in the group.